All right, welcome to Raising Funds for World Domination, day number 336. So, once again, there are no updates on any of these items. I got back to working on the script a bit for our next long-form video. And also, I actually worked on, I think last night I said, with the testing, with the test results, I needed to split off the mock client into another thread, and I did that today, but unfortunately the tests still aren't passing. And I thought about it, and I think there's some fundamental logical issues with what I'm trying to do with the tests. So we can run it. So the issue was down to the tests were failing with when I go from a transition from a chunk that's available to being discarded. When the chunk state goes from available to discarded, but then it becomes available again. There's like a raise condition that happens sometimes, and I think it's because I was thinking that the order of the signals that come out from the in-memory chunks class, even though it's a separate thread, if I preserve that order, it's fine. But the problem is when for my code that randomly generates new chunks and adds them, that's actually the part. Because when it picks a chunk to generate, it doesn't pick it consistently. So there's a raise condition where I can add a chunk that is in the wrong state. So I thought about it more. I should probably do even more refactoring of how that works. So maybe it could it should really be like a kind of a request response model where it sends requests, and then every thread keeps a local copy of its of the loaded regions, because eventually I'm going to have problems with when I need to implement client-side transactions for rubber banding and stuff. Orthoplex 64, how's it going? G0RI Devs says, hi Robert, it's been a while. Already about to do a senior project. Not sure about what project to pick. Could you please recommend something? Senior project. Senior for university or high school, or and this is in the domain of software engineering, I assume. University. Computer science. I guess it depends. Are there any constraints on what type of application it has to be? I guess you can pick stuff. I guess the natural answer is stuff you're interested in or / passionate about. If that's not really a big, if that's not really something it's if it's nothing particular you're passionate about, you could just pick what is going to lead you to the best career path. So you can imagine, maybe even just look at just imagine yourself in a job interview. Pretty networks oriented. Make 3D games. Yeah, I guess you could imagine you're in a job interview. So like go to like Indeed or LinkedIn and like look at the kinds of jobs that you see there, and that you think are interesting, and then imagine you're interviewing for one of those jobs, and then they say like, "Hey, do you have any interesting projects you've done?" And then you can be like, "Well, yes, I do. I have this project," and then you can kind of work backwards from that. You said networks oriented. If you want like a random idea, I would can imagine a new area of growth might be like using large language models to detect suspicious behavior and like network activity. So there's probably like if you see a certain IP address running pings and all kinds of stuff, there's probably an application of using AI and like a large language model based security stuff, or even the opposite of like using large language models for like pen testing and stuff. That's at a higher network level. I'm not sure. Maybe you mean like more the lower level, like closer to the physical and protocol layer, like the what is it? Oh, orthogonal frequency division multiplexing and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you could go that level, or if you're more of like a closer to the physical layer, there's probably also some AI stuff there. I mean, you could even make like you could even do like a comedic. You could just make the project like a comedically inappropriate insertion of AI into your project idea, just like for fun. But then you could probably make it work. Like I don't know, using AI to like detect protocols. Yeah, I could probably do that. You could probably actually that probably would be a good application of large language models. Is like if you're trying to automatically figure out how to demodulate signals and stuff. If you have some network traffic that's like it looks strange and trying to figure out like what's the packet structure and stuff, a language model might be good at that stuff. All right, let's run the tests. So a test failed. That's because of this. So we'll use the time-tested method of making that test pass by commenting out the thing that makes it fail. Ideally, this would be a better test, but that looks okay. Where is the error? Maybe it's the timeout. Congrats on the game. Almost a year on a project. Is an insane feat. Is it though? I've only been working on it an hour a day. Honestly, I should be further along. Oh yeah, move that into here. Oh, that's not at all what I expected. It's within a lock. Should not be possible. That should not be possible. It's probably due to the race conditions. Alright, I guess we'll have to leave the tests failing for now. Jay from LV says, "What's up, homie? Not too much. How are you doing?" We're just working on the old block mining simulation game. So for now, I think I'll say I've done enough work on the memory chunk stuff now, in the interest of making progress. I wasn't able to refactor it to get like good tests going. I do have a good start to a unit test for the memory chunks. But in the process of that like refactoring, I think it may be able to easily support most functionality for the local multiplayer. What are your test cases testing? The test cases I'm trying to build are testing the process of loading and unloading chunks. So if I go up here and I go, say up here, see those chunks of the map? Those are, there's a module that's responsible for to keep track of the chunk life cycle of like going to an area. And then recognizing that needs to be requested, sending the request to the server. And then when the server comes back, getting updating the client and so forth. So this is an improvement because it no longer crashes. But in this case, what it's supposed to do, so this is with two players connected to the same local world. The other one's not getting the updates. And I took a look at the code today. I think I know why that happens. Why'd you choose Java for this project? Is it the language you're more familiar with? Looking into building a TUI using Go, a dependency called bubble T. It's a good question. It's a frequently asked question. In fact, I get that question so much. I made a video. I'm pretty sure, let me know if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's linked in the description on this video. Is why did I, it's maybe like the fourth link down or something. Why did I choose Java for that? That's my detailed answer. I guess short answer is it's just I think it's a pretty good language, and I actually did mention Go in that video. If I was to choose another language, Go is maybe a candidate. Aeroport 2 says, which is better? Great experience for really low money or bad experience for really high money? I'm gonna have to say great experience for really low money. Paying a lot of money, having a bad experience I'm not a fan of that. Okay, I think the fix for this is just update this return value, and I think this will make it send the updates notifications for all of the clients in that session, as opposed to just the current one. Choosing between an intern in this scenario right now, internship. Oh, okay. I thought you meant like about a recreational. You're going to a theme park or something. Bad experience. Because it depends how you find bad. You know, in this world, the way the world is going, I think the biggest value is going to be actually in like interpersonal relationships. So you could think about like how much money, how much cash flow will you generate over the internship, and then the other question is what will be the compounding lifetime value of like everything what you experience, like what's on your resume, and also can you make connections? Like, is it if you're going to some like bank in a foreign country where you don't know anyone and you're going to have zero social life and work 16 hours a day, and you won't make any LinkedIn connections, or versus if you like go somewhere, and like some places they really treat their interns a lot, like you go on recreational outings and stuff, which I guess you could consider that good experience, but even beyond just like the fact that they're more laid back, there's also just the opportunity to interact a bit more, and maybe some of those, maybe actually make connections there. And I think the way the world is going, just knowing more people and having a few people you can like, if you take this internship and you're out of work in 3 years from now, you can go back and ping some of those people you met at a good internship, and ask them if they know of anywhere that's hiring, because that's one of the other compounding benefits of going, like, as you go through your career. Hopefully you'll build up like a collection of people that are also going through their careers, so you can, like, you not only have access to your own network, but you have access to the network of everyone you networked with. Do you actually not use Microsoft products at all? I don't use Microsoft Outlook for job, unfortunately. Actually, I do use, like, Microsoft's mail thing, but in terms of, like, VS Code, never used VS Code. I actually started off on Visual Basic 6, and then Visual Studio and stuff, and I guess over time I transitioned more to Linux, and these days, like, there's just nothing. I know some very smart people who, like, stand by Microsoft products and really like them and stuff, but there's just too many weird inconsistencies with Microsoft software, and what bugs me about it is not that it's buggy, but it's that the people who use Windows don't seem to have a problem with it. Like, a really specific example I documented is this blog post didn't do very well, but if you search for it on my blog, I have a blog post about how if you have a folder and you do right click, add to archive, that will silently delete, it will silently corrupt and remove files based on a pattern. I think the pattern was, if you have subdirectories that start with a period, every folder after the first one listed alphabetically, every additional dot folder will be removed from the archive silently, and you'll never know. So then when you open the archive, your, like, files are missing, which is just a weird kind of niche bug, which I guess has probably existed since forever. And I had some students who were, when they would try and zip up their Eclipse folder, their Eclipse project, they would extract it, it would be corrupted. And I always thought that was weird. And I thought, like, oh, maybe the students are doing something wrong. So I actually sat down for a few hours to, like, figure out what was actually happening. And then it dawned on me that when I extract the archive, if you just create a simple folder on your desktop, do, like, add to archive, open, the files are just not in there. And I Googled for this a bit, and, like, you get the typical responses of people being like, why would you even need to do that? Yeah, that's loads life-changing money. I believe I can gain a lot more connections from lower pay one. You said life-changing money. I don't know. I mean, if it's like there's many, it's hard for me to balance that. But if it's like you get paid $1 million for a 4-month internship, then but it's terrible and you meet no one, then I'd say yeah, it's probably $1 million would put you far ahead. But it's probably not quite that. Maybe it's longer than 4 months. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to balance it. If you want, you could try to put it in a spreadsheet or something. Try to come up with some mathematical formula to quantify the benefit. Doe Ltd says, "Greetings, chat. How's it going?" right, that might do what I want. What's the best computer or coding? What's the best computer or coding themed movie? Not most realistic, although that's interesting. Just the most entertaining, in your opinion. I don't really even know of any. To be honest, so I have never watched Netflix. I have no subscription. I haven't watched television since probably 2011 or so. I've only seen a handful of movies. There's a lot of really good movies that I've never seen, and it's like on my to-do list watch them. There was that one. There was that. You say, I guess, computer or coding themed. There was I think it was the movie Hackers or something. With Angelina Jolie in it. I think that's what it was called. That of course, I guess, was a classic. Although if you were to like ask me to list out the list of coding movies, I think it's a pretty small list, to be honest. Who Am I is a good movie. Yeah, I'll have to take your word for it. I never even heard of it. I think in recent years, like, to be honest, if you asked me, name a single movie that has been made in the last like 5 years, I would not even know. I would not even be able to give you one example. I kind of wonder if did they even make movies anymore? But yeah, in the classic days when there were big high budget films and stuff. I guess there were a few. The Matrix, I guess, this was not about coding. I think in that movie they used Nmap, which is a port scanning tool. So I guess there are like examples of some real commands and stuff in that movie. The best computer or coding theme movie. Actually, you know what? I do have a good example. So I've never actually watched the show, but I've seen lots of clips on YouTube. And that is the show Silicon Valley. And I will say that the show Silicon Valley, I have never anywhere in any bit of culture seen a show that more accurately portrays the behavior, mannerisms, and like the nonsense, like the depictions of that show, and like the caricatures of the programmers, the personalities you meet in businesses, and like the investors and stuff, like all those behavior, those are very real. And I've never seen a more accurate depiction of those kinds of things. Tron perhaps for me, although less coding. I've never seen Tron. I actually don't even know. That's one of those ones that's on my to-do list to watch. But I actually have no idea. I know I've listened to the soundtrack. Actually, I've written code while listening to the soundtrack to that movie. There was I think that there was a recent movie in the last, I don't know how many years, but the soundtrack to that movie is really, really good. Ever played the game Silicon Space Valley. I have not. Blood Think Green Text makes him Hacker Man. It looks cool though. It's also your eyes are more sensitive to green than any other color. So I think that's why green is so commonly used. You get the maximum contrast for the limited amount of light. Interesting. That's the opposite thing that was supposed to happen. Maybe the demographic for coding-based movie would be larger nowadays. I think we'd need to be in the style of like Sherlock Holmes, in which they find out either what algo is the best. Yeah, there's it definitely would be larger. You probably like the thing is, I think what has changed though is like economic models. Because increasingly what has driven movies is like, can they make money off it? Like it's there's a lot less like people who pursue things for the love of it or like passion. Like the amount of there's more alternatives. Like in 2005, like what could you watch in 2005? I mean, remember in like, you know, back in the day, there's still like you had to like flip through the channels to find something interesting on TV, and the amount of stuff that was on the computer was limited. YouTube was in its infancy. Today, though, there's so many incredibly interesting things to watch. Like so many people are creating content and stuff. I think that's kind of driven down the economics of like the ROI for that, and also to produce a movie, you're now competing with like, you can use AI to make movies now. Like some random kid, a 14-year-old kid can make like a Hollywood movie. It's a Nintendo 64 game. It's pretty good. Example of being controlled. Full simulation of simulator world of silicon. Of animals controlled by computer chips. Interesting. Space Station Silicon Valley. Haven't played it. Watched large parts of playthroughs. Pretty difficult game. My data originally played because he was going through school to print money. Going through school to print money. Usually you don't print money in school. Okay, I've succeeded in making it not send out any updates. That's not cool. Why would you painfully code in a console window like that? If I had a better streaming setup, then I would do something better. It doesn't. It kind of looks bad on stream. It's not as bad in person, although it is kind of. It would be better with a bigger monitor, but it's not really possible to. Like when I'm just coding alone, I usually have a much better setup. This is disappointing that it doesn't work. I don't see any good reason why it doesn't work. Opinions on the light LLM controversy. I have seen a couple of clips since that. I think I saw some. Yeah, I saw at least one YouTube video on it, and I think I saw it on Hacker News. I don't know. I don't remember the exact details. It was just a pip package or something. You install one pip package and now you're like totally owned. I don't know. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that people don't get owned from these like sketchy, like the chain of custody on these things. I think all this stuff should be like better. There should be like more like manually trusted signing of things and better testing and analysis. Yeah, I guess in order to really comment, I'd have to know more about like how fast did the package propagate out, and like what kinds of like is this one of these things that's on the honor system? People look for convenience. Yeah, I mean we're going into like World War III, so anything that's like a common good thing, like the stuff is on the internet. So if it's on the internet, like in World War III, everything is going to become an attack surface. So if like Iran can do something to damage the West by, compromising, trolling everyone by pushing something into a repo, like if they're willing to spend billions and billions of dollars on hypersonic missiles, they can probably afford to pay $50 to someone to like break the honor system for some repo. Now, if only I can figure out why this is not sending out updates. This should be so simple. That might be why. It was not a typed array, so it probably just passed in the wrong object type and returned nothing. Let's hope it just works magically. Clients are subscribing to chunk events of the world. Yes, and the complicating thing is how I have it set up is so I'm adding multiplayer feature, and as part of that, I'm adding like a client-side multiplayer. So I have one connection to the world. So this, like, the network connection is up with this session. And on top of that, I've added the concept of like an authorized world connection. So there's the connection to the world, which is like one network connection, and then the authorized client connection exists within that. And so I guess that's within one session object on the server. So one session on the server can technically be, in general, be multiple players, because you can have multiple players logged in with one network connection. And what I had to do was just make it so that when one client makes submissions to the server, it notifies every single one of the authorized clients instead of the one that made that update. So we'll see if this works. This windowing is not really ideal, but okay. Moment of truth. Will it work? Nope, it's not working. Oh, it's still doing the, yeah, still not sending any notifications. Okay, that's interesting. Cherie says, good evening, how's it going? This should have been a pretty simple thing. It was just adding another layer to a map. I'm good, excellent. Today, I'm pretty good today. The weather is, it's not super warm out, but it's still not like frigidly cold. Days are getting longer. I got a whole bunch of errands done today. Oh man. Okay, and I usually just do an hour, but I had high 70s today for a few hours. Now I just have a whole bunch of smaller thunderstorms going on. Yeah, I think the weather is going to be weird. I saw someone saying that in like part of the U.S. it's gonna. I guess you're probably on Fahrenheit. I can't mentally convert Fahrenheit to Celsius very well, but I checked the weather down there, and it's going to be like almost a 25-degree change in like within 30 hours, going from like 20 to down to -1. See, this is why I don't use IDs. It just takes forever to open them. On 26C. Now realize you guys weren't using Fahrenheit. Yeah, I think the US, how many other countries use Fahrenheit? Fahrenheit's the imperial system. Everybody else is on metric. Big Monkey heat dome, Mariam. Set to quickly resume after the cold front. Yep, it's good tornado and storm weather. Just wishing for rain. Just a German living in the US. I guess it just seemed like anything beyond the Atlantic from my home side was on Fahrenheit. Germany, I guess you'd be. Well, I guess all of Europe is, I assume, on metric. I think it's only. Isn't it like 2 countries in the world that are still on the imperial system? It's like the U.S. and Libya or something. I forgot how to debug. There we go. Now, an unfortunate consequence of my refactoring is it's now way slower. So I'll let it initialize those chunks. Once I hear the hard drive stop going, then I know it's done initializing. Still going. All right, there we go. Okay, so move down. All right, that looks correct. What are you coding about, dude? I'm currently working on a terminal-based video game, and there's some links in the description. I think that some of the third and fourth, or actually, if you check the GitHub that's linked in the description, there's some links to some YouTube videos there. They go into what the game is. Oh, I bet that might be the problem. I'm overwriting the tree map. Was likely the problem. So I was only adding the updates for the last chunk that was subscribed. Well, that's not good. Wow, that's not at all what I expected. Okay, that's a good sign. Wow, look at that. It's doing it. This is exactly what I wanted. That's clearly not working. There we go. This is necessary for lots of testing stuff. So now I can have like local examples of multiplayer. So this is the case with two connections. Two players connected to the same session. Now let's see what it does with network connections. Nope, doesn't like that. Okay, that'll be the next thing, I guess, is to figure out what's going on with the network connection. That's weird that case works because it worked before. But that's a good place to leave it tonight. That's a lot closer to, I guess, the impressive case that I want to demonstrate. All right, we'll leave it there for tonight, and we'll be back again tomorrow night for day 337, I think. All right, have a good night.